Hello and welcome to episode 42 of the All Things Leeds podcast. I'm NkGhTg, and joining me in the studio is, as always, my co-host Charles Foster. Hello.
Hi, Matt.
You alright?
Yeah, obviously I finished work earlier, so that's the explanation why I'm dressed like this.
Yeah, you're dressed very smartly.
Yeah, I've got a tie in my bag and the blazer on the back of the chair. I've been at work, so I'm not going to say the company because I'm not paid to advertise. So yeah, that's what's happened.
Have you had a good day at work?
It was alright. My feet are aching a bit, and I have to deal with customers all day, but it was okay. Yeah, I get very well paid. So
Good bonfire night as well.
It was alright. My mum couldn't find any fireworks, so she tried to buy some last night, but she couldn't find any. So because no one was selling them, so I was a bit gutted about that. But I realised that everyone was lighting up where I was. So right. Do you have a good one?
Yeah, I was at the Farsley Celtic game, and we saw all the firework displays around us because, of course, it's not a massive ground. So I saw fireworks going off. Farsley Celtic beating I forgot the name of the team. I think it was like something Welfare. Armthorpe Welfare, I think. We won 7-0 in the West Riding County Cup. So plenty of goals. And I was doing the Twitter as well, so I kept on putting some bonfire night puns in there.
Of course you did.
Yeah, I wanted to have a bit of fun.
Well, yeah, if you live around Farsley, or even if you don't, you should definitely go support them because they have a good club.
Yeah, definitely go and watch some Farsley Celtic games. But how are you? You had a good week?
Yeah, it's been alright. I've been working a lot. I've been working every day, so it's been a bit rough. My feet are aching a bit.
But I've been great after that Leeds United win on Saturday.
Oh yeah.
Amazing.
I love the game. That was good. A nice regulation 2-0 win.
Yeah, we will of course be discussing last Saturday's game. Leeds United winning 2-0 against QPR at Elland Road. I know 2 goals in one game. Mental.
I know.
Mental.
When was the last time we saw that?
Who knows? There's no Leeds United U23s game to mention this week, unfortunately, as their game away at Nottingham Forest under 23s on Monday got postponed due to a waterlogged pitch. But the Leeds United ladies did play and won their game quite convincingly, so we'll look at that. We'll also discuss the news that has come out of Elland Road this past week, and there's been quite a lot of news coming out of Elland Road this past week. Of course, the big one being the news on Kiko Casilla, so there's plenty of things to talk about before we look ahead to Leeds United's next game. That sees them take on Blackburn Rovers at Elland Road this Saturday. Another home game. 2 home games in a row. I'm buzzing. I do
love a home game, mate.
Yeah, 2 home games in a row. When was the last time we had that? Who knows? Loads to discuss here on the All Things Leeds podcast. Well, getting straight into last Saturday's game then, Leeds United, of course, beating QPR 2-0 at Elland Road. And Charles, this was a solid performance.
It was significantly more comfortable than we've been coming to expect this season for a game of football, especially at Elland Road, where the games have been significantly more tough than they have away. I saw an interview with Jack Harrison with the Yorkshire Evening Post. I think it was, I don't know whether it was that or West Yorkshire Sport, one of them. I think it was Adam Pope interviewed him, and he was saying that it took him 5 or 10 minutes to figure out QPR's formation. I know we were pointing out how organised they were, particularly when we were taking like short goal kicks from our box. They would have 4 players surrounding. Obviously, Eze was their kind of main man all game. He was their focal point, and they were quite well organised for a team that conceded so many goals as they had, because they have conceded a lot of goals. Yeah. But I thought we did a job on them. We were clinical, we were ruthless, and I thought we dominated the game. I thought we were very good, particularly in the first half. And even in stretches of the second half, I thought we were very good. I thought there was never a period of more than a few minutes where QPR were, I would say, dominant. Yeah.
It took me ages to figure out the formation of the Leeds United team, never mind the QPR side.
Stuart Dallas had the weirdest position going on.
Stuart Dallas was all over the place.
From the look of it looked like Bielsa said to Stuart Dallas, your job is to mark Eze. That is your job. Yeah. Wherever he goes, you follow him and you mark, and you basically get the ball off him.
Yeah, I think Graham Smith, of course, at the Yorkshire Evening Post, he tweeted out during the game, Stuart Dallas playing the traditional left, right, mid-centre defensive midfield role.
he was all over the place, but it did the job. I think if in previous managers of the past, I think Jose Mourinho, when he was managing Manchester United, he was playing Chelsea. He had was it Herrera or was it Matic? I think it was Matic marking Eden Hazard all game.
Yeah,
that worked. They won the game because the strategy was your job is to follow Hazard wherever he goes. Yeah. Every time he gets the ball, get it off him, and that's what Stuart Dallas. The Stuart Dallas role against Eze was obviously not as high quality, but similar in concept. That was the role. He was that Eze is was very impressive for QPR. Even though QPR were quite poor themselves, he's clearly a player that is performing below his potential.
I mean, for a 21-year-old, he ran the show for QPR.
Yeah, I mean, he is clearly greater things to move on to in his career.
Yeah.
He was very good for QPR.
Yeah, he was.
And even Stuart Dallas and Calvin Phillips struggled to deal with him at times. But he didn't, and he had a very limited impact because of the efforts of them players, and obviously of the efforts of the rest of the team.
Yeah. Were you nervous heading into Saturday's game? I mean, it was a fantastic atmosphere, but at the beginning it did feel quite tense and quite aggressive as well from Leeds United fans. I did feel a bit of nervousness around.
Well, yeah, but we had a couple of draws, but you have to consider they were away draws
against
significantly good teams. Like Preston, who were one place above us. Sheffield Wednesday were only a couple of places below us.
Yeah.
These were difficult places to go to. We went to both games, to both grounds. We didn't lose. We didn't lose the game. That was the main effort of the game. We didn't lose. We performed. I would say defensively against Wednesday we performed very well. Preston wasn't as good a performance, but we managed. The sign of a good team is not losing when you don't perform well. We didn't lose either game, and we got back home and we won our home games. You win your home games, you draw your away games all season. Then you go up.
Yeah,
that's essentially it.
Yeah, because I mentioned this on my match review for the LS11 YouTube channel. I said, going into the game, I did feel as though fans were quite nervous, especially in the ground and early on, because of recent results. But I was looking at it thinking, well, we're going into this game 3 games unbeaten. We've picked up 2 draws away from home against 2 sides who are in the top 6. They're probably going to finish in the top 6. They're 2 very, very tough teams to go away. And then we won our home games. So, for me,
yes, it was a great result.
Yeah.
It set us up for this next stretch of games, which are, I mean, even objectively, they are winnable.
Yeah.
Not even from a biased Leeds perspective. Oh, of course we're biased because we're Leeds fans. But looking at it, you'd think, we got after this, we've got Luton away, don't we?
Yeah.
And then we've got Middlesbrough at home, don't we?
Yeah, Luton away, Reading away, Middlesbrough
Reading
at home.
away, sorry, I missed that Reading away.
Huddersfield
But even
away.
Reading away, we won the 3-0 last season, and it could have been 6 last season.
Yeah.
Bamford missed a couple of chances. Hernandez missed that one from about 8 yards out. So that was comfortable last season. You can imagine it being the same. So this stretch of games is winnable. And I thought last game against QPR, we really did say, right, this is how we're going to play, and we're more efficient. And we sacrificed the majority of possession. Don't forget, we only had 49% possession. We sacrificed dominance in exchange for goals, which we have done in previous games this season. In a few games in this season already, we've not had over 50%, and we have won the game. So I think, I don't know whether it was a square ball or another podcast to listen to or another Twitter opinion. It's not my opinion. I'm quoting another opinion when they say that when Leeds seem to have less possession, we seem to score more goals and do better. We seem to create more effective attacking manoeuvres. I don't know whether that's just because we've got more space in behind because we're counter-attacking, or because when we're completely dominant, we are up against a wall.
Yeah.
And that is it's hard to score through a wall. Yeah. I mean, Jack Harrison proved that against Wednesday when he was when NkGhTg laid that chance in for him. Do you remember when they had all 11 Wednesday players in the box and you thought, there's no way this is going in?
Yeah. Yeah, it seems to be when we're playing worse, we seem to score more goals, which is really weird.
I don't know if you would... Less possession isn't necessarily playing worse, as Leicester proved when they won the Premier League. I think they nearly every game that season they had less possession than their opponents.
Yeah.
Sometimes you've got to let your opponent into it to make them make a mistake. It's difficult to make mistakes when you are as compact as we make teams are. If you let teams perform how they want to perform, but you already know their weaknesses, you are arguably in a better position to strike at those weaknesses.
Yeah. Well, getting into Saturday's game.
Sorry to ramble, by the way.
No, it's getting into Saturday's game in a lot more detail. As I mentioned, brilliant atmosphere, but I did feel as though fans were quite, quite nervous heading into it. I think a lot of fans were quite pissed off as well at the fact that QPR's kit that they were wearing was I don't really know what it was.
It was a nightmare. It was like light green or mint coloured,
light blue or something. It was like a mixture of like light green and light blue. Looked very similar to the white kit.
I mean, me and you can see completely fine. I mean, even we were getting a bit strained at times.
So people who suffer from colour blindness,
or even just general need glasses, will struggle with that.
Yeah, I was struggling at times. I wear glasses, of course, in the south stand. I need glasses to see the other side of the pitch. And yeah, I was struggling to differentiate the players, and I think people who suffer from colour blindness also found it really, really hard. It's a good thing that Will Huffer wasn't playing in goal. But the massive kit clash. I don't know how on earth the QPR were able to wear that kit. I was surprised that they didn't chuck on anything else. It was very, very difficult. Even throughout the entire game, just wearing the same kit, and it was just difficult,
especially at corners and things like that. That was difficult.
Yeah, it was awful. But 2 changes for Leeds United. Liam Cooper, he came in a straight swap for Gaetano Berardi. A bit harsh for Berardi because, of course, did keep a clean sheet against Sheffield Wednesday, but Liam Cooper, he's the captain. He was always going to go in.
Has to play.
Yeah, he was always going to go in. And Tyler Roberts, he replaced the injured Alioski, who Bielsa told us in last week's press conference had a problem with his side. Roberts, he came in for Alioski. Dallas played at left back, and Roberts played in that number 10 role. And Dallas, I thought he did well at left back, and Tyler Roberts in that number 10 role. Wow. We have missed a player like that in that role. Right.
Should we talk about Dallas first? Obviously, there's a lot more to talk about with Roberts. Right. Dallas at left back.
Didn't really happen, did it?
It didn't really happen for a start because he was roaming all over. He was left back. He was defensive midfield. He was wherever Eze was. But the less you know about defensive players, less you think about them during games, is generally an indicator of how well they performed. Yeah. And there was very few attacks that came down our left side. Very few attacks in general that came towards us, but you didn't really notice anything. You never really thought, we're going to get hammered down this left-hand side at any point during the game, did you? It just didn't happen. I thought he performed quite well. I thought he did a job on Eze. Of course, it's quite difficult to keep a player of his calibre under wraps for 90 minutes. I mean, generally he's running at defences, and defences are scared. And every time he got the ball, Dallas was within 5 feet of him. He really was ran him all game.
Yeah.
So that was impressive. Right, moving on to Tyler Roberts, who had a slightly more interesting game as an attacking player. You generally do have more interesting games. He was all over the place. He was finding pockets of space. And at one point, he chipped it over to Harrison, who sat on the chance, which flew through the box. But he was at the centre of everything. He was finding those pockets of space through the middle that we've been struggling to find in recent weeks. We seem to have been working a lot of magic down the wings, but obviously unable to get the right cross in, the right ball in. But he seemed to be that focal point in the middle that we've missed since Saiz left. Since Hernandez has been on form in the middle, we've missed that person that can pick up the ball in the middle and find those spaces and find other players.
Yeah.
And he was really impressive in this game.
Yeah, Roberts was doing that. He was so creative. He was instrumental for us going forward. It was fantastic, was Tyler Roberts. Patrick Bamford, he started despite Bielsa telling us in the press conference midweek that he had an ankle problem, but that's because Eddie Nketiah is out injured now. He's got a problem with his abs. I don't exactly know what the injury is.
I heard something really dodgy about this. Sorry to interrupt. I heard something really dodgy about this. I heard he had like a testicular torsion. That's what I've. I mean, that sounds like a massive rumour, but
yeah, I mean, we'll need to wait until Bielsa tells us the full story in this week's press conference on Thursday. Nketiah's got a problem with the abs region. I don't exactly know what the injury is. There's a lot of rumours out there. There's a rumour that he's out for 4 weeks or so. But as I said, we will need to wait until Thursday's press conference. But it did feel as though in this game, heading into it, Bielsa tells us that Bamford's got an ankle problem. It did feel like Eddie Nketiah was going to get his start, and it's unfortunate that he's now out.
Apparently, Nketiah was told on Wednesday of the week, obviously of last week, that he was going to start on the Saturday. And obviously, he's getting injured on the Friday night, that must be heartbreaking for him.
Yeah. It's got shades of the Jamal Blackman last season, where he was told that he'd start ahead of Bailey Peacock Fowl, and then he got injured, and of course a massive injury, went back to Chelsea.
But unlike Jamal Blackman, I've actually been impressed with what I've seen about Eddie Nketiah. I was never impressed with what I saw with Jamal Blackman.
Well, we never really saw him.
Well, I saw him in under 23s games, saw him in cup games. I never thought he's a much better keeper than Bailey Peacock Fowl. I thought they were just both all right keepers, whereas Nketiah has proven to be an extremely effective player off the bench when he was playing in games. I was disappointed to not see him start initially, but I didn't think Bamford performed that badly. I mean, he did miss a good chance. I don't know. Was it in the first half he missed a chance? I think
1-on-1.
Yeah, I think it was the first half, wasn't it? Yeah.
Half.
And he kind of Click threaded the ball pretty much from defensive midfield because Click was playing a bit deep. I thought Click was more impressive at a deeper role in midfield.
Yeah,
I think that has to be noted. I thought he was, in recent weeks, he's been a bit kind of on and off in his form. I thought deeper midfield has been better, but he found Bamford with that ball, and Bamford probably should have hit it first time.
Yeah, he really should have. On his left foot as well, the stronger left foot.
He does go by the goalkeeper, but the defender does make a good tackle.
Yeah, really good challenge.
Yeah, really good. Which Bamford actually notices. He sits up as the QPR social media noted. He actually sits up and goes, "What a tackle!"
Yeah.
Which and I felt really unfortunate in the second half when he scored an offside goal. And I know you like to keep it chronological, but we're talking about Bamford's performance, so we have to mention that it looked marginally offside.
Yeah, I think it was just offside. I mean, it was certainly very, very close, and sometimes you see him given, sometimes you see him not. It was very, very close. It was a tough decision, but from angles that I've seen, I think Bamford was just offside. But again, again, it is very close. But going on to that 1-on-1 again, Del, he's on his left foot. He needs to hit it first time. I mean, the defender should not get the opportunity to put the challenge in.
He's on his left foot, but which is his favourite foot. But he's 25 yards out. He's on the run. Defenders are closing him from both sides. But you'd expect him to hit the target.
I think a striker who was very, very confident would finish that first time. I mean, Bamford just didn't.
Obviously he takes it around the keeper because he thinks the keeper's going to take the ball off him. But from that position, you should think from when he gets the ball to the keeper being near him, there's about a second and a half. He can chip the ball there. He can chip it.
Yeah.
So you are. When we saw that, we were disappointed. We were disappointed with the click chance in the first 15 minutes.
Yeah.
When Elland finds him in acres of space on the edge of the box.
I don't know why he just didn't dive forward and head it.
But, swan dive header, that goes in, I reckon.
Yeah, he just decided
I remember me and you were discussing that at the time during the game. But we're getting wildly off topic here. the Bamford performance, I wasn't disappointed by the performance. It wasn't his most impressive performance, but he did win a few free kicks. But he was offside a couple of times. It was a very much a
patch at Bamford performance.
Yeah, he had some very good points and some. Well, maybe it should have timed your own better kind of performances.
But it is unfortunate that Eddie Nketiah is now out. Hopefully it's not for 4 weeks. That is the room at the moment. Bielsa we'll just need to wait till Bielsa tells us on Thursday in the press conference. But really unfortunate that hopefully Eddie Nketiah does come back very, very soon. But yeah, it was a slow start from Leeds United. I felt QPR were probably on top. They were passing really well. As we mentioned, 21-year-old Eberici has ran the show for QPR at times. Referee George Eltringham, I didn't think he had a particularly good game. He was giving QPR pretty much everything every time their player went down in the opening 15-20 minutes or so. A brilliant Graham Smith tweet said that the referee was blowing his whistle like it was at a rave.
It was every single time one of their players went down, it was giving us a free kick.
It was very frustrating.
What I will say in favour of the referee, though, as I mentioned to you earlier, is that he dealt very few yellow cards to either team, which is kind of what you want to see as a football fan. You don't want to. I mean, obviously, if a player deserves it, they deserve to go off. Yeah. But you don't want to see players easily booked here.
Yeah, but I just want a bit of consistency with the referee. I thought the referee and all the officials were quite poor during the game, and especially early on, QPR, they were cheats basically. Every time Kiko Casilla got the ball and wanted to throw it out, a QPR player would either tap him on the shoulder or get right in the way of him. They were stopping us from taking quick free kicks.
We noticed that. We were in the stand. It was awkward.
Yeah, and the referee, if you book one of them, they stop doing it really, and that it was really frustrating.
He did have a word in the first half eventually, and then it didn't happen for the rest of the game. Yeah. It should have been the first time. He should be saying you cannot kick away the ball for quick free kicks. Yeah, mind you, we do that sometimes. Like when opposition get free kicks, as you see like as a Click and Alioski pick up the ball, kind of mess about with it a bit to try and waste time for our players to get back into position.
But QPR were doing it non-stop.
Every single free kick.
And the game just wasn't flowing. It was really, really frustrating to watch. Personally, I didn't think the officials had a good game at all. But Leeds did eventually grow into the game, and once we got going, we were the better side, really, for the entire game, and we were the only side that looked to be winning the game. As we mentioned, Click, he missed a good opportunity early on. Bamford then missed that one-on-one, which he really should have put away. I still think a lot of people let him off for that, but I think any striker would have finished that first time for me, especially on your stronger foot. So Bamford, he should have done better with that 1-on-1, but of course we missed it. But we did go 1-0 ahead on 39 minutes. Jack Harrison with a very Jack Harrison assist, really.
It just looked like when he's doing everything he normally does, which he brought it to the byline and he thought, right, if I cross this in, this is probably going to go haywire, so I'll dribble it in. And he did dribble it in, but it looked a little bit awkward. He didn't really seem to know where he was going to put it, and eventually saw Roberts move behind. He kind of moved back towards the halfway line to get in view of Harrison from behind the defender, and Roberts received the ball and pretty much second touch was it? He just took a touch, hit it. bottom corner as the keeper was diving the wrong way.
Yeah, it was a fantastic finish from Tyler Roberts, a really good finish. But Jack Harrison, I thought that he'd done a bit too much, but he did eventually find Roberts. It's another assist for Jack Harrison as well. And really good finish from Tyler Roberts as well. And I'm so pleased for both Jack Harrison to get another assist and Tyler Roberts for getting that goal. Because I've been saying for weeks now, we're missing that really creative play in that number 10 role, and I've been saying Tyler Roberts needs to start support Patrick Bamford up front because Bamford can't do it all on his own, and Roberts really did help out going forward, and he got that goal. And right now, going forward, he needs to start every game.
You'd be very disappointed if Bielsa was to drop Tyler Roberts in favour of it's supposed to have to be in favour of Pablo Hernandez at the moment, because I don't know how I feel about Helder Costa at the moment. It's a bit confusing to me because Jack Harrison gets way more stick than he does, but Jack Harrison is contributing four assists in his last 5 games. I mean, technically, we're going to go on to talk about his second goal. He technically assisted his own goal.
Nice one too with the defender.
Yeah, he misplaced the pass with Click. It gets booted through to him.
Yeah.
So he technically assists his own goal. He seems to be, all our creative play seems to be going down our left-hand side, which hasn't happened in the past. And although Costa's been pressing very well, winning corners, winning free kicks, the odd kind of trick or flick to get the ball through to start an attack, which happened a couple of times. The Click chance, I think Costa won the ball and flicked it to Elland, who then laid it on for Click. So he is contributing to games. He's just not getting the goals. He's not getting the assists. Obviously, Pablo just come back from injury, so you would hope that Tyler Roberts would, given that performance, given how well he performed, finding the spaces, his trickery, his general. His hold-up play was good as well. All aspects of his game was good. His passing was good. He was finding the wings well. He was finding Click well. He was finding Phillips well when he had to. He performed really well. You'd hope he'd keep his place.
Yeah, certainly Roberts needs to start from now on for me. Of course, 1-0 at half-time, no changes for either side at half-time. Second half, we sat back slightly, I felt, which we've seen from Leeds United recently when we're ahead at half-time going into the second half. But yeah, we were still creating chances. Roberts, he blasted a shot way over the bar early on in the second half. Bamford then scored, as we mentioned earlier, but it was ruled out for offside. And yeah, from angles I've seen, it looked just about offside, but it was very close. And yeah, they go either way. It was just unfortunate here for Patrick Bamford. And right, at the time when he scored, I was buzzing because Bamford had just scored a goal, and hopefully he kicks on now his first goal at Elland Road this season. I really want him to score, but
he was gutted. You can see his face from a distance, and you see it on the replays. He's gutted that didn't count.
Yeah, I think everyone was gutted that it didn't count. But still at 1-0, QPR, they had a good opportunity, their only opportunity of the game really, when a cross from the right was met by Jordan Hugill, but he could not get a clean header on the ball, and it went right over his head and out for a goal kick. But very good chance there. Jordan Hugill, who's known for being a really good striker, especially in the Championship. Of course, he was at West Ham in Premier League, to play many games there. But he's a well-known striker. He's a good striker, and it was a really good opportunity here. And at 1-0, he should have done better. And if he did score that, it could have been a completely different game.
It could, because then you, I don't know what time that shot was on. I think it was kind of 70-ish minutes.
Yeah, I think it was late on.
Yeah, and then that sets up a very nervous finish in which they maybe even win because they push on for the winner, and obviously we're in like the Forest situation again, early in the season where we concede like the 70-odd minute, and then we think, oh Christ, we've just bottled this, we've lost the opportunity. The crowd goes and the team goes, but yeah, this he does get a touch on it. The ball that comes over, the ball seems to come over too fast for him. He's not expecting it. He seems to come at the wrong. He mistimes his jump, and he kind of glances it wide. And you think, Mark Warburton made out that it was like the Sterling and Kane chance against Croatia in the World Cup, where it was almost certain to go in.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the ball whipped in was very fast. He mistimes the jump. He gets the header all wrong. So I mean, and it he turns it in from what should be a very scoreable chance into quite a difficult chance because of the way he deals with it.
I mean, it certainly was a good opportunity, and you'd expect Hugill to do better.
You would.
But yeah, if he put that away, it would have been a very different story. But fortunately for Leeds United, we did go on and get a second goal in 82 minutes. Jack Harrison with a great finish here, as we mentioned earlier, teeing up himself really. Nice one too with the defender. Jack Harrison just kept on running at the defence. He got right through, and eventually it was a fantastic finish with his weaker right foot. And Jack Harrison, an assist and a goal for him. Brilliant.
Yeah, he had an extremely good game. And I mean, usually gets quite. He don't get stick in the stands, but you can kind of you hear lots of groans when he messes up a dribble or when he messes up a cross.
Yeah.
But yeah, he performed really well. He got the goal, he got the assist. He was a constant threat down the left hand side, and he was appreciated by the fans at the end of the game. He got a
Jack Harrison chant.
Yeah, he got a Jack Harrison chant. He got an ovation from the fans because he scored and he was subbed off immediately.
Yeah,
that was like slightly amusing because he literally just scored, and then as we were preparing to take the kick off, he was subbed off.
Yeah. Well, I knew that sub was going to happen as well. I told you in the stand, I saw Leif Davis on the left, and I was like, well, he's going to come on for Jack Harrison, isn't he? But yeah, Jack Harrison, he did score. I was so pleased that Jack Harrison did score an assist and a goal. A really good performance from Jack Harrison. Was he the man of the match for you?
For me, yes.
Yeah.
He was most directly involved in all the attacks. He was just a threat. He was constant threat down their right hand side. He was weaving and he was finding Bamford a lot of the time. He was finding Click. He was finding Roberts. He was finding everybody, and he really performed well. And I think Bielsa, having had his first season in the Championship, might have thought, right, obviously he decided to sub him before the goal went in, so he might have thought, right, we're 1-0 up here, let's put Leif Davis on a bit more defensive, although Leif Davis, I mean, took the opportunity to be an absolute menace.
Yeah, absolutely. But 2-0 and a comfortable end to the game, really, and it was good that it was relief, really, wasn't it? Because we've grinded out so many 1-0 victories recently. It was a relief to get a second.
Well, I mean, I remember turning to you in the stadium at 83 minutes after Harrison scored, and I said to you, "That's the points."
Yeah,
because you feel like our defence is so good. As soon as we go 2-0 up, that is the game.
Yeah.
The challenge is going 2-0 up. The challenge is not maintaining it.
Yeah, really do. As soon as Jack Harrison scored, as we said, it was subbed off for Leif Davis, the 19-year-old. And Davis, he was very, very impressive again for the first team. Very good, Davis.
Very good, Davis.
Yeah, of course. It came from I think it was Morecambe or Macclesfield. Morecambe. Leif Davis came from a few years ago. And of course, he impressed when he came on. When he started against Aston Villa in that away game, where we won 3-2 last season. Back in December, short notice. I think it was Douglas who fell ill, so Leif Davis came in, and he impressed there. And Leif Davis again impressed very, very well. And if we do have a problem at left back going forward, if Alioski and Douglas are out, I don't really want Dowler starting at left back. I think Dowler is better elsewhere, but he does do a job everywhere. But if we do have a problem at left back moving forward, and Alioski and Douglas are out for a long time, Leif Davis is a solid option there.
Yeah, he was very impressive. I know obviously he had the freedom of the 2-0 cushion. By the time he came on, the game was effectively won, so he could perform with a bit more freedom. But he was, every time he got the ball forward in the last kind of 10 minutes, it was him finding the right pass down to Bamford, or
he would just sprint down the left-hand side.
Winning tackles, or being... there was one point where he ran from halfway through our half to kind of the edge of QPR's box by himself.
Yeah.
Because he had... I didn't realise he was as pacey as that, but he is a pacey player.
Yeah. I mean, it was brilliant, Leif Davis, when he came on. Absolutely brilliant. Impressed again. I probably wouldn't start him straight away going forward, but if we do have a problem at left back, Leif Davis is a very good option.
You won't be uncomfortable, would you?
Huh?
You wouldn't be uncomfortable, would you?
No, I wouldn't be uncomfortable, but for a 19-year-old, I don't think you should just chuck him in straight away after just one or two good.
But he's also a natural left back, which we have very few of.
Yeah, if we do have a problem at left back, I'm fine with Leif Davis playing there. You probably won't go in straight away, but Leif Davis at left back is a good option, and it does need to be considered moving forward. The sub before that, though, we mentioned it, Helder Costa. He went off Pablo Hernandez. Pablo Hernandez, we've missed him, haven't we? He was so creative when he came on, Pablo Hernandez.
He had 15 minutes to the end of the game, kind of it was 20 if you include extra time almost. He was good. I like seeing Pablo back. It feels like he's been gone longer than he has.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, he's been gone. I think
since the derby game.
Since the kind of end of September, so kind of. I don't know, a month and a bit, maybe 5 or 6 weeks, but it feels like it's been gone a lot longer.
Yeah,
it was nice to see him back. You don't realise when players sign for Leeds how emotionally attached you're going to be for them. Like, you really don't, do you? You never think you'd see like in 2015. You never think you never associate Pablo Hernandez with the United, but now 2019 you think. Where's Pablo? Like, you see the team, you're like, oh, he's missing. You feel like it's kind of a hole in the team. You feel it, and you miss him. I mean, because he's provided with so many good memories, and he was good when he came on. I mean, obviously, he had that free kick which he sent just slightly over the bar. he was doing mainly defensive work by the time he came on, because kind of last 10 minutes we just decided to defend because we'd effectively won the game. I think QPR had 60% of possession in the last 10 minutes of the game, so it was kind of effectively they were going all for it, and we were kind of defending well, as we have done in several home games this season. So you could see different sides of Pablo. He was trying to find the passes out of defence. Obviously, Jack Harrison blocked that excellent shot. I don't know if it was from Eze or from the other. I think it was from one of the other players took the shot. I mean, forgive me, I can't remember the exact shot. I was at the game. There was a shot that came from outside the box that Jack Harrison blocked, and that was the one where it was a lot of space there. You thought, Jesus, this might go on target.
Yeah.
And he did block it. But yeah, Pablo, we came on. He was impressive. It was nice to see. He looked fit as well.
Yeah, it was really nice to see Pablo Hernandez back from injury, wasn't it? But Helder Costa, he's divided opinion really, and a lot of people said it was his best game in Leeds shirt. I did feel as though it was good. I certainly think he's had better games though. But Helder Costa, what are your thoughts on him?
He's a confusing player, is Helder Costa.
Yeah.
Because he's a bit like Click in that he can have very good and very bad games at the same time. Like he can have points of a game, he can be very good, and the points of a game, he's just giving the ball away repeatedly, and it's very frustrating. But he seemed to have... pressing wise, he was brilliant. Like there was one. Do you remember that point in the second half where he was calling down the keeper? The keeper made a mistake and he won the corner off it, and that was like it was a nothing opportunity. And obviously he's won the corner. He's pushed Leeds up the pitch. That's his job as a winger. But there was another point where he was like it was him and Bamford and two QPR defenders marking Bamford in the box, and he was out on the right. And he just ended up going out for a corner, which we then wasted. It just seemed like he could have done more with it.
Yeah.
He seems to waste certain opportunities, but he has these flicks where he flicks it through to Elland, or he flicks it through to Click, or these sunburst of pace where you can see why he's a good footballer. It's not like it's not like Matt Grimes or like Cameron Bothwell-Jackson where you think, how the hell are you a footballer?
Yeah, obviously not.
He clearly has the ability there. It's just whether or not we're getting the best out of him currently. I think there's more to come from Helder Costa.
Yeah. Would you stick Pablo Hernandez in straight away and replace Costa? Or?
I would still start Costa, but I would give Pablo more time off the bench. I would probably give, in QPR, Pablo maybe 30 minutes off the bench rather than 15. Yeah. Maybe start Costa for the first 60, then bring Pablo on. I don't think that would be a poor decision. I think you would get the best out of both players.
Yeah, I'd agree. And of course, we need to remember that Pablo Hernandez is coming back from injury, and he is 34 years old.
He is the oldest player in the squad.
Yeah, but I'd agree with you there. Just bring Pablo Hernandez off the bench still. But yeah, we see it out 2-0. Nice, comfortable, relaxing finish to a game finally. We haven't had those for a while, but 2-0 win for Leeds United, and another clean sheet as well for the defence and goalkeeper Kiko Casilla. We will of course get into the Casilla news later on in the show, but Kiko Casilla right now 9 clean sheets in all competitions, of course 17 games played in all competitions, 8 clean sheets in 15 league games. He's in great form. He's massively improved from last season. He's finally the Real Madrid goalkeeper I was expecting.
I mean, he has been impressive, particularly the last few games, but I don't think you can put the clean sheet solely down to him. I think that's unfair.
Oh no, well the defenders, they've helped him out massively
by a huge margin, because like we've conceded 8 league goals this season.
Yeah, but the fewest in all 4 divisions in English football.
And some of them were just stupid. Like the Derby penalty was stupid.
Yeah.
The Forest goal where it appeared to come off. What's his name? The Graben's like armpit, and then went in. That was a stupid. The Charlton goal, that was stupid.
Swansea goal.
The Swansea goal was less stupid than the other 3 because that was a good finish. But like the other thing was really. So we effectively could have conceded 4 or 5 league goals, and that is mental.
Yeah, but eight goals only conceded for Leeds United this season, the fewest
fantastic
in all 4 English football leagues, which is fantastic, remarkable stat.
Obviously 2 against Millwall, where we were cheated out of 2 goals by the referee, Colin Brady off the pitch, like 15 minutes into the game.
Yeah, phenomenal defensive record for Leeds United this season. Kiko Casilla still keeping clean sheets, and the defence still keeping clean sheets. It's fantastic, and it's 3 points for Leeds United, now unbeaten in 4 games, which is great. And those 3 points did move us to the top of the Championship table, but
briefly.
Preston then beat Charlton 1-0 away on the Sunday to go top, and then West Brom beat Stoke City 2-0 away to go back to the top of the Championship table. So we are still 2 points behind league leaders West Brom, unfortunately, but the table is still very tight. But as we mentioned last week, I mean, I think just ignore the table now. We're doing well. We're picking up results. But as we mentioned last week, right now our next few games are all winnable, and we just need to kick on from this win.
I mean, this time last year we had that 7-game win run, didn't we? That kind of did us so many favours for the rest of the season.
And it was when I officially relaunched All Things Leeds, so it was down to me.
Yeah, of course it was. I mean, because of course we've got our podcast anniversary coming up, but obviously we'll mention that in a few weeks' time. But we... I can't remember what I was going to say then. What was I going to say then? The win run. Yeah, the win run. We really could do with another 7-game win run. This is a winnable stretch of games up until Christmas. Obviously, the Huddersfield game looks harder the closer we get towards it, because the Cowley brothers have turned them around from being the whipping boy of the Championship to being okay. Luton have just come up, so that they've not been quite as good as like Charlton have for just coming up, but they've.
But Luton away, it will be tough. We always lose in London, so.
I mean, obviously we mentioned that stat. I think it was last week that or whether I just mentioned to you on Twitter, I can't remember, that they've scored 3 more goals than us, but conceded I think they conceded 22, and we conceded 8, conceded 14 more goals.
Yeah.
So, this stretch of games, we do need to win.
Yeah, and as I said last week, the table's so tight still that if a team goes on a 5 or 6 game win streak, as we did last season at this stage, you could be miles clear at the top of the table. So it's really important to kick on now and push on and stay unbeaten and put a really nice run together.
Consistency. That's all you need.
Yeah, consistency in this league, and you will go up. That's all you need. But moving on then, as I mentioned at the start of the podcast, the Leeds United under-23s haven't had a game this week. They were meant to play against the Nottingham Forest under-23s away at the Impact Arena last Monday, but after a pitch inspection it was postponed due to a waterlogged pitch, unfortunately. But the Leeds United ladies, they did play this week. They faced Bradford City at Four Parks last Sunday in the first round of the FA Women's National League Plate competition. Sounds exciting. Anyway, they've progressed into the next round after a 4-1 victory, thanks to goals from Abby Brown, Emily Cassidy, and 2 goals from leading goal scorer Rebecca Hunt. Great team, the women's team we seem to have. They're fantastic. They're doing really, really well at the moment. A really convincing 4-1 win over Bradford City here at Four Parks last Sunday in the first round of a plate competition, and they've been drawn away to Nottingham Forest in the second round, which will be played on November the 17th. Fantastic from the Leeds United ladies. Hopefully they do well in that competition, and we will be following them closely throughout the season. But let's look ahead then. Let's look on some major news that's come out of Elland Road this past week. Of course, the big one concerning 33-year-old goalkeeper Kiko Casilla. So reports came out of a weekend before the QPR game from the Daily Mail saying that after an investigation, the FA were prepared to ban Casilla for 8 to 12 games for allegedly racially abusing Charlton forward Jonathan Lecco during our 1-0 loss away there on September the 28th. But the YEP then reported that the FA weren't prepared to comment on the situation, and the investigation was still ongoing. So we didn't really know who to believe. I'd prefer to believe a YP over the Daily Mail, really. But on Monday, it did all come out, and Kiko Casilla has been charged by the FA in relation to an alleged breach of FA Rule E3 during the 1-0 defeat away at Charlton on September 28th. Of course, Casilla allegedly racially abusing Charlton striker Jonathan Lecco, the 20-year-old. A statement from Leeds United came out, and it said that Kiko strenuously denies the allegation, and the next step of this process will be a personal hearing. In the meantime, Kiko will remain available for selection. Now, it's kind of similar to the Fernando Forestieri case at Sheffield Wednesday, really. That, of course, went on for ages. Forestieri, the outcome of that, of course... Go on.
He was acquitted by a criminal court, but he was convicted by the FA. Because the FA operate on balance of probability. So if you get 2 people saying, "Oh yeah, he said something racist," and you say, "I'm not saying anything racist," they're going to say, "Yeah, you have said something racist," because you probably have. Whereas a criminal court will operate on evidence. They'll say, "All right, what's the evidence? He said this. Who's heard it? How likely are you, given your past experience as a player, your past behaviour as a player, whether or not the crowd has heard it, the management and staff have heard it, so they'll operate on more.
Yeah.
I imagine I'm not saying the FA won't be diligent, but they'll operate on the balance of probability more than evidence.
But reports do say that the FA do have a strong case against Casilla, which doesn't sound too good, but those are reports from the Daily Mail again. But yeah, it is similar to the Forestieri case, really. Casilla, he could keep on denying it, and it could take absolutely ages, so Kiko Casilla really could still be available for selection and be our number one goalkeeper until the end of the season. It could go on for ages, this case. But it's kind of awkward for Leeds United fans, isn't it, really? I did feel awkward singing Kiko Casilla's name at times on Saturday's game. I don't think I did sing his name, really. I felt really awkward doing it.
I mean, I did, but I felt...
Yeah,
it was awkward. It was. You kind of felt uneasy.
Yeah,
it was an uneasy feeling because you thought, well, he could be horrible here, and we could not know about it.
Yeah. I mean, of course, it is a really good chant, that Pablo Hernandez Kiko Casilla
It's
chant.
a fantastic
chant.
Yeah,
it's fun joining in, and you want to support Leeds United players, don't you? But you also don't want to support a racist.
No, I've no interest in supporting racist players.
Yeah.
I've no interest in supporting racism in football whatsoever.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've spoken about the racism from the Bulgarian fans against England the other week. It was spoken about racism in the English game, which obviously we're not claiming has been eliminated because it just hasn't.
Yeah,
I think it was a Hartlepool that got done the other week for racism. Obviously Millwall got done.
Yeovil Town, it was.
Yeovil Town got done as well. Millwall got done last season. So it's not an issue that doesn't exist anymore. And it is horrible to think that one of your players could be racist, and you don't want to. I as a Leeds fan, and I'm sure thousands of other Leeds fans will agree with me in saying that if he is convicted of racism and he's said it, then drop him. I've no interest in supporting a racist player.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of people saying to sack him. Of course, everyone's innocent until proven guilty. And at the moment, Casilla is still denying it. I mean, for me, he's 33 years old. He's played with many black players before. Of course, he is Spanish, playing in England, so that it could have been lost in translation, really, as to what he said. For me, it just seems though Kiko Casilla doesn't seem like the kind of guy, but of course I don't know him personally. But yeah, these reports, it's still ongoing, and we'll need to keep an eye on it. But yeah, it is kind of awkward for Leeds United fans. You want to support your players, but you don't want to support a player who potentially is a racist, do you? So,
I mean, I think this is the problem with knowing about the situation like this before there's conviction.
Yeah.
There's the fact that his reputation, regardless of what happens now, is damaged. Irreparably damaged.
Yeah.
What should have happened is Jonathan Lecco should have reported it to the FA should he felt that he was racially abused. The FA should have kept that absolutely secret until there is, and then operate the case with obviously Leeds United and Kiko Casilla aware of it. There should be no communication to fans or any of the media. It should have been dealt with internally by the FA and the Leeds United and Charlton. And should Kiko have been found guilty, he should be punished accordingly, fairly. And if he's found innocent, then obviously, if he's not said it, then absolutely. Like, why? What is the point in his reputation being ruined like it will be? Because people say, oh yeah, if you found it innocent, then no one's going to go at you. People still have a go at Forestieri for being racist. People still have a go at you for things you haven't done but been accused of doing in football all the time.
Yeah,
that's just the nature of football banter in stadiums and on Twitter, and it is an issue. The fact that players are tried by media as opposed to tried by court.
Yeah, absolutely. It's hard to disagree with you there. But yeah, it's an awkward situation. But that's it. That's the reports. Kiko say he has been charged by the FA, but he is denying it, and he can still play for Leeds United. So we'll need to wait and see. But at the moment, he probably will still be playing. He probably will still be starting.
I mean, the statement says he's eligible for selection. I can't imagine. Bielsa has complete trust in his players. I imagine if Kiko says, I haven't said this, Bielsa will think, you've not said it. Yeah. I will start you. I'm number one goalkeeper.
Yeah, probably. So yeah, Kiko say probably will start for Leeds United still, and I'll still support Leeds United players. This case is going to rumble on for probably a long time. So we'll just need to keep an eye on it. In other news, then, Leeds United store in the White Rose Shopping Centre in Leeds opened last Sunday. Goalkeeper Elland Meslier, Gianni Alioski, and the Leeds Warrior Josh Warrington were there for a meet and greet. As expected, many Leeds fans turned up. Have you been yet?
I haven't, no. I've not been to White Rose in a long time. I mean, is it the biggest shop, or is the one next to Elland Road bigger?
I'd say this is bigger because this is 2 floors.
Yeah, the one at Elland Road is just one floor. It's one big floor, but it's just one floor. I've not been out in the shop.
It's very impressive.
Obviously,
very impressive.
I heard about it. It happens in the Leeds Twitter sphere. You do inevitably hear about these things.
Twitter sphere.
You do hear. I think it's a good thing. The more commercially available Leeds United are, the more fans it will have, the more commercial revenue, the more we have to spend on players, the better team we have, the bigger club we are.
Yeah.
I mean, those are linked things. So you can't really be annoyed or disagree with the fact we've opened a new shop.
Yeah, absolutely not. I mean, it's great that we're opening many more shops around Leeds. It's great that we're growing our presence around the city.
I can say, particularly around Leeds, opening these shops around different areas of Leeds is excellent because you spread the kind of...
Yeah,
I mean, I'm trying to find a better word than condition of supporting Leeds United because it is a condition at times, sometimes positive, sometimes negative, but it's always there with you. And if you can recruit, I say recruit, if you can gain new fans of the club through these shops, through spreading merchandise, through because people walking through White Rose will see this shop and if you, I don't know if your parents aren't really football fans, but you see this and you think, I actually like football. This could be my club. This is my city. And then in 20 years, you'll end up like me and him, weathered, doing a podcast.
But yeah, I must say it's a very, very impressive shop. Really nice store. 2 floors. There's a big TV screen as well, which plays quite a lot of old moments in Leeds United history. But yeah, it's a very, very impressive shop. Head on down there if you live near White Rose, of course. If you live miles away from White Rose, then don't bother. go to your nearest shop that you can.
Go to the one in Trinity. Go to the one at Elland Road, wherever you live.
Yeah, Merrion Centre as well.
Merrion Centre as well. I forgot about that one. So,
that's a really small one.
They're all over the city centre. So go on.
They're all over the place. But yeah, really impressive shop, and it's great that we have opening more shops around Leeds. It's great that we're growing our presence around the city, and as you say, Charles, it could attract people into supporting Leeds United. Unfortunately for them.
I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't want to support any of the club. This club, you never get bigger bounces in emotion than you do supporting this club. I certainly, in my personal life, I've never had such big bounces in emotion as supporting Leeds.
Yeah, absolutely not. But yeah, fantastic store. So yeah, head on down there if you live near there and go do some shopping. I spent, I think, it was going to be £36, but with my season's ticket, I got 10% off. So it was around £32 I spent. I got Leeds United scarf, Leeds United hat. What else did I get? I've
still got my scarf for my first away game, Preston away, 2017.
I must admit, I wasn't happy because I bought a picture of Calvin Phillips, which for the players to sign. I need one for my frames that are behind that run my wall behind my desk, that people see in my videos on YouTube. But as the cashier was putting everything into the bag, she just didn't take care. So there's a massive crease in the Calvin Phillips photo, which I'm really, really annoyed about. It was only £2, but I'm really, really annoyed about it. But I'm not salty at all. But yeah,
I'm sure you can get another picture, mate.
Yeah. But yeah, it's still a fantastic store. So yeah, head on down there. It's very, very impressive. Also, other news. It's going to be a very, very busy day on Thursday night, especially as mentioned on the podcast last week. The Leeds United first team will be at the Leeds Christmas Light Switch on at the event outside the Leeds Art Gallery on Thursday night, the 7th of November. But not all the first team players may be there, as Liam Cooper, Ben White and Mataush Klick will be doing a Q&A in the Norman Hunter Suite at Elland Road at 6:30pm on Thursdays. Kids tickets are £10, adults tickets are £12. It's quite expensive, to be honest. Are you going?
Personally, no, because I'm busy. I'm working on Thursday, so I can't go. And it does sound a bit expensive, to be fair. Normally you'd think like 10 for adults, 5 for kids, that kind of thing. That seems like a fair price for a Q&A.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Radrazan is the man that sold those £100 programmes.
Yeah.
How many did he have? Did he have like
100 of them?
Yeah, 100 of them. So yeah, he made 10 grand in an afternoon. I mean, the man's a commercial genius doing stuff like that. I mean, frankly.
Yeah.
But obviously you want to hear the opinions of the players at this point in the season. I think, well, we're a quarter way through the season right now, just over a quarter way through. So you want to hear their opinions on, obviously, the injury we've had, the performances, where the team needs to improve, where the team has been excellent. Because the team has been excellent in large parts, particularly defensively, I'm sure. particularly Liam Cooper want to be talking about how he want to big himself. I don't want to say big himself up because he won't want to do that, but he'll want to talk about how pleased he's been with the performances.
And it'll be interesting to hear about the partnership between Ben White and Liam
Yeah,
Cooper
of course
and how that's all come about. But yeah, it's going to be fascinating hearing from Liam Cooper, Ben White, and Mateusz Klich on Thursday night. Tickets are still available. I'm not going, but I will be keeping a close eye on what the players are saying. But yeah, take your pick. Either go to the Leeds Christmas light switch on and see some the first team players there, or go to the Q&A and hear from Liam Cooper, Ben White, and Mateusz Klich. But yeah, very busy night on Thursday night. And finally, before we look ahead to Saturday's game, Leeds-born female boxer Nicola Adams has announced her retirement from the sport. So the best of luck to her in whatever she plans on doing next. After a very successful career in boxing, it has to be said. So yeah, good luck to Nicola Adams in her retirement. A fantastic female boxer. But yeah, Saturday's game then. Moving on to Saturday's game, of course, the second home game in a row for Leeds United, and we take on Blackburn Rovers. It's a 3 p.m. kickoff, which is very, very nice. I hate early kickoffs and late.
Second in a row at home, 3 p.m. kickoffs.
Yeah, it's lovely. It's lovely, isn't it? It's really, really nice.
I mean, I don't mind the later ones, like Friday 5:30s. I actually love Friday 5:30 kickoffs.
Well, Friday 7:45.
Yeah, well, obviously, Friday late kickoffs. What I mean.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've said 5:30. Late kickoffs on Fridays are usually brilliant, but the Saturday games, which are at midday, everyone's always sober. Everyone's always either sober or hungover.
I'm very tired.
Yeah, or just tired, or it's too bright.
Yeah.
Everyone turns up kind of a bit glum, and they just, let's get this over. Let's just get the 3 points and go home. I missed my fish and chips for this. That's a general attitude amongst the Leeds fans in the stand. Whereas at 3 o'clock, that's standard kickoff time. Everyone knows that is your day. You get to wake up a bit later. You get to wake up at kind of like 9, 10 o'clock. You get to have your breakfast, have your lunch, get down to the game in enough time,
and then you can enjoy your evening.
Yeah, and you can have a couple of pints before, and if we win, or even if we lose heavily, you can have a few pints afterwards.
A few whiskies if we lose.
We've had a few whiskies before after bad defeats.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the 3 o'clock kickoffs are nice.
Yeah, second home game in a row, 3 p.m. kickoff, which is really, really nice. Of course, Leeds United in third place in the Championship table, heading into this, 2 points behind league leaders West Bromwich Albion still. We're level on points with Preston, who are in second, Swansea, who are in third. Of course, the 2-0 win over QPR made it 4 games unbeaten now, 2 wins and 2 draws there. And as we discussed earlier, it's important that we build on this really good form.
Well, I mean, 3 wins, 2 draws, and a loss in our last kind of 6 games it's good form. That so if we were to win the weekend game, that'd be good reading.
Yeah,
particularly given the 2 draws were away games. So that is good reading. So we just need to win it. I say this every week. We just need to win it.
Yeah, and it's certainly a winnable game. Of course, Blackburn are managed by Tony Mowbray, who is under pressure currently, as Blackburn sits 16th in the table on 18 points, to 6 points above the relegation zone. They did beat Sheffield Wednesday 2-1 at home in the last game, though. But that was their first win in 7. They hadn't won any of their previous 6 games. 4 losses and 2 draws there. So we really should be beating these.
Well, I mean, Sheffield Wednesday went 1-0 up in about 80 minutes and then ended up losing the game because Blackburn scored 2 very late goals.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and then you mentioned the fact they've lost 4 and drawn 2 of the last 6 of the 6 games before that. They're not looking good. And obviously they've got danger men that we're aware of.
Yeah, they got many good players. Bradley Dack, Danny Graham, who scored against us last season. Stuart Downing, who they've transformed into a defensive midfielder, really.
I mean, they beat us away last season.
Yeah, they did.
2-1 in a drab game that you attended that I didn't.
Yeah, and Danny Graham scored there. They got Bradley Johnson as well, of course, former Leeds United player, and Lewis Holtby as well, who I'm sure used to play for Tottenham Hotspur. So to do with some big names. Bradley Dack, of course, the danger man there.
He is by far their best player.
Yeah. They do have some good players. But Tony Mowbray, he is under pressure. Of course, they hadn't won a game in 6 games, but then remarkably beat Sheffield Wednesday 2-1 at home. So we really should be beating these, but we don't really know what to expect now, do we? From these, of course, they lost 6 games, but they went 6 games without a win, but then beat Sheffield Wednesday. So we really don't know what to expect.
I would expect them to do what a lot of teams do at Elland Road. They will likely sit back, rely on set pieces, because that's how they beat us away last season. I imagine because those near post set pieces where they were like flick-ons from Danny Graham, wasn't there? That's how he scored his goals. He literally ran to near post, flicked it on back of the net. Yeah. I imagine Bielsa will have analysed those games, and because we did concede 4 goals in 2 games against them, so that is a concern.
Yeah.
Last season, so that will be something Bielsa will be wanting to address. I don't imagine we'll concede the same amount of goals this season. We're defensively more solid. Honestly, I expect a similar game to the QPR game. If I'm being totally honest with you, I expect Stuart Dallas to man-mark Bradley Dack the entire game, and I expect us to beat him. Honestly, I know I want to talk about other things first, and you asked me my prediction. I think it'll be the same result.
Yeah, fair enough. Are we facing Blackburn at a good time, do you think?
We never seem to face a team at a good time as Leeds United. It's always, obviously, their kind of Yorkshire Lancashire derby. They're obviously the Red Rose and the badge. We are the quintessential White Rose club. So although it's not like a literal club derby, there's the Yorkshire Lancashire derby. They're just a bit inconsistent at Blackburn. And now and again, they do bring out excellent performances, and they can break with pace, and they've got... Dak is an excellent player. I'm not sure why he hasn't been picked up by now. He's a top 6 championship player. But I do expect us to beat them. I mean, I said similar things about Eze and QPR. Eze is by far their best player, and he's Premier League quality. He's not even top 6 championship, but he's Premier League quality. So I think if we can do a similar job again, obviously, Blackburn will analyse how QPR played and try to fix their faults. But I expect us to beat them. I'm sure you expect us to beat them as well. Yeah.
I mean, of course, we have a really good record against Blackburn Rovers as well. We won 5 of our previous 6 meetings with them. Of course, the other meeting was that loss last season, that 2-1 loss away there, as you mentioned, Charles. So this Blackburn side do know how to get a result against Leeds United, don't they? But, of course, with that memorable game last December at home, that 3-2 victory, Kemaru scoring 2 very late goals. Both in added time, so fantastic, memorable game. We do have a very good record, 5 wins of our last 6 meetings. Hopefully we can keep that really good record going. Line-up for you, unchanged?
I don't know, because I would probably stick... I don't really want to take Dallas out. I don't know, I quite fancy a Leif Davis start. I don't know what it is.
But would you put Dallas at right back then and drop Ayling? But Ayling
had a really good game in the weekend, so
it'll be unchanged. It
will be unchanged.
Yeah, unless there's any injuries,
go on unchanged. I thought we performed very well. I think it performed badly. I would do what I said earlier. I would held the cost for 60 minutes and I'd bring Pablo on the right wing. That's what I'd do. Obviously, Roberts in front of Click, I think, was a better move than we have been in previous weeks. Obviously, NkGhTg can't start, so it'll be Bamford again. I don't see any other changes I'd make in the squad. I don't know if you see any change.
I mean, unless there's any other injuries, I can't really see any changes. Bielsa will probably keep it unchanged, of course, unless there is injuries. But yeah, I can see an unchanged lineup. I wouldn't be too bothered if it's an unchanged lineup. I'd be content. I'd be content if it's an unchanged lineup. Score prediction for you then?
2-0 Leeds.
2-0 Leeds. I'm going to go 2-0 Leeds United as well. Both going 2-0 wins to Leeds United. Hopefully we can get the win, get the 3 points, and build on that QPR win. And just build a really good run of form together.
Let's just do it this time. Let's just win a bunch of games in a row and not screw it
up. and of course we're going into an international break as well, so it's really important that we get a win before the international break. Of course, the international break next week. There will still be a podcast next week. There's been plenty of Leeds United players who have been announced to be going on international duty, so we'll round all those up in next week's podcast. But that does bring us to the end of this episode, episode 42 of the All Things Leeds podcast. Thank you very much, as always, to Charles for joining me in the studio.
Thanks for having me on, mate.
And thank you very much to everyone who has listened or watched. We really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed, then why not subscribe or follow the podcast? Give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts if you're listening on there. Share the podcast around as well, and make sure to follow All Things Leeds on social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Search up All Things Leeds 1 on Twitter and Instagram. Search up All Things Leeds 1 on Facebook. Subscribe to the YouTube channel as well if you have not already. Follow me and Charles on social media as well. I'll leave them linked in the video description. And me and Charles, we will be back next week. It's an international break, but we will round up all the players who are on international duty. We'll of course look back at the Blackburn game, which is hopefully a win. And we'll find some things to discuss.
There'll be something to talk about. There always is.
Yeah. So me and Charles, we will be back next week for certain. So for now, take care, and we'll see you soon.